Welcome to our podcast.
Hello, my dear friend. I'm truly happy that you're here tonight. Out of all the videos you could have chosen, somehow our paths crossed. And I don't believe that's a coincidence. So before we begin, I hope you found a quiet place where you can simply rest. You don't have to take notes. You don't have to remember every word. Just listen. If even one sentence stays with your heart tonight, then this conversation has already been worth it. Whether today was beautiful, or whether it quietly asked more from you than you had to give. I'm really glad you made it here. I hope these next few minutes feel like a safe place. A place where you don't have to impress anyone. A place where you don't have to explain yourself. A place where you can simply be. So make yourself comfortable. Take a slow, gentle breath. And let's spend this quiet evening together. Tonight, I'd like to talk about something we rarely protect. Our peace, not our money, not our success, not even our time, our peace. Because without peace, even the happiest moments become difficult to enjoy. And here's something that might surprise you. The biggest thief of peace isn't always another person. Sometimes, it's the conversation we keep having inside our own minds. The one that never seems to end. Let's talk about that tonight. The older I become, the more I realize that peace is one of the rarest things we can own. Not because the world wants to take it away, but because we give it away so easily, sometimes to people who don't even notice, sometimes to memories that have already ended, sometimes to worries that haven't happened yet. It's strange, isn't it? We lock our doors before we go to bed. We protect our money. We protect our phones with passwords. But we often leave the door to our minds wide open. Every opinion walks in. Every criticism finds a chair. Every unnecessary worry makes itself at home. And then we wonder why our hearts feel so crowded. Maybe protecting your peace isn't about building higher walls. Maybe it's about choosing who deserves a key. Not everyone needs access to your thoughts. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every invitation deserves a yes. There is a quiet kind of wisdom in realizing that your energy is limited. You only have so much to give in one day. So why spend it proving yourself to people who already decided not to understand you? Some conversations don't bring clarity. They only create noise. Some arguments don't change minds. They only steal sleep. Winning every discussion is impossible. Keeping your peace. That is a victory you can choose every day. Have you ever noticed how the sky never argues with the clouds? The clouds come, the clouds go, the sky remains the sky. Maybe that's the lesson. Not every thought deserves a response. Not every feeling needs to become a story. Sometimes sadness visits, let it visit. Sometimes anger knocks on the door. You can acknowledge it without inviting it to stay for dinner. Feelings are like weather. They change, they move, they pass. Your heart doesn't have to become every storm that passes through it. One of the hardest lessons in life is learning that you cannot save everyone. You cannot heal every broken heart. You cannot fix every misunderstanding. You cannot carry everyone's pain without slowly losing your own strength. Kind people often forget this. They become a home for everyone else. Until one day, they realize they no longer feel at home within themselves. Kindness should never require you to abandon yourself. Helping others is beautiful, but not when it costs you your own peace every single day. Sometimes the kindest answer is also the shortest one. No, not because you stopped caring, but because you've finally started caring about yourself too. There is nothing selfish about protecting the quiet place inside your heart. A candle can light many others, but if it never protects its own flame, eventually, there is no light left to share. Maybe that's why rest is so important. Not because you've earned it, because you need it. You don't have to be available every moment. You don't have to reply immediately. You don't have to solve every problem before you sleep. The world has survived many nights without your constant attention. It will survive this one too, tonight. Give yourself permission to be unavailable for a little while. Not because you don't love the world, but because your heart deserves a little silence. And sometimes, silence is where peace quietly returns. There is another quiet habit that steals our peace: comparison. It rarely knocks on the front door. It slips in through a tiny window. One picture, one achievement, one happy-looking smile, and suddenly, the life that felt enough 5 minutes ago begins to feel small. Isn't that interesting? Nothing in your life actually changed. Only your attention did. Comparison is a magician. It distracts you from everything you have by pointing at everything you don't. But here's what it never shows you. It never shows the lonely nights, the silent tears, the self-doubt, the moments when someone else also wondered if they were enough. Every life looks complete from a distance. Just as every mountain looks smooth until you start climbing it, maybe the person you're comparing yourself to is quietly wishing for something you already have. Peace begins the moment you stop measuring your life with someone else's ruler. Your journey was never supposed to look like theirs. A bird doesn't feel jealous of a fish. The moon never competes with the sun. Each one has its own time to shine. Maybe you do too. Can I tell you something that took me years to understand? Not every invitation deserves your energy. Some people invite you into conversations that have no destination. They don't want understanding. They want reaction. They throw small stones into your heart just to see the ripples. You don't have to pick up every stone someone throws. Sometimes the strongest response is leaving it exactly where it landed. Silence has a quiet confidence. It says, I know my peace is worth more than this argument. There are battles that make you wiser, and there are battles that simply make you tired. Learning the difference is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Overthinking is another thief that works the night shift. It waits until everything becomes quiet. Then it starts asking impossible questions. What if? What should I have said? What if I make the wrong choice? The mind is funny. It tries to protect us by preparing for every possible problem. But somewhere along the way, preparation quietly becomes prison. You replay the same conversation again and again. As if the ending might change, it never does. The past has already finished speaking. It is we who keep asking it to repeat itself. Maybe tonight. You don't need another answer. Maybe you simply need permission to stop asking the same question. Some doors only open after we stop knocking. I think peace has a favorite word. Enough. Not more. Enough. Enough work for today. Enough worrying for tonight. Enough trying to earn everyone's approval. Enough carrying things that were never yours to carry. There is something beautiful about saying, this is enough. Not because you've given up. Because you've finally stopped chasing a finish line that keeps moving farther away. The world will always ask for more. More success, more money, more achievements, more attention. But your heart whispers something very different. Come home. Not to a place, to yourself. To the version of you that smiles without pretending. To the version of you that doesn't feel guilty for resting. To the version of you that knows peace is not something you find. It is something you protect. Maybe that's why sunsets feel so comforting. They never hurry. They never apologize for ending the day. They simply remind us that even light knows when it's time to rest. Perhaps you don't need to be available all the time. Perhaps you don't need to solve your whole life before you fall asleep. Perhaps the most productive thing you can do tonight is to let this day end, because tomorrow deserves a heart that has rested, not one that has been worrying all night. So if your mind starts collecting problems as you lie in bed, smile gently and remind yourself, I have done enough for today. The rest can wait until morning. You may be surprised how many problems become smaller. After a peaceful night's sleep, peace doesn't always come from changing your life. Sometimes, it comes from changing what you allow to stay in your heart. There is one last thing I'd love to leave with you tonight. We spend so much of our lives trying to protect things we can see, our home, our work, our dreams, our reputation. But the most valuable part of us has always been invisible. A peaceful heart. No one else can protect it for you. You are the guardian of your own peace. It doesn't belong to someone's opinion. It doesn't belong to yesterday's mistakes. And it certainly doesn't belong to tomorrow's worries. It belongs to you. After we become successful, after we solve every problem, after everyone finally understands us. But peace doesn't live there. Peace has always lived in this moment, in this breath. That's what sleep has always been. A gentle reminder that even life pauses. The stars don't rush. The moon doesn't compete. The night doesn't apologize for being quiet. Everything in nature understands the importance of rest. Perhaps we should learn from that. Perhaps your heart has been asking for silence all along. Not because it is weak, because it has been carrying more than anyone can see. So tonight, as you close your eyes, I hope you leave this conversation with one simple promise. Not a promise to become perfect. Not a promise to never feel anxious again. Not a promise to always be positive. Just one promise. To protect your peace a little more than you did yesterday. Choose one less argument. One less unnecessary worry. One more deep breath. One more moment of gratitude. One more reason to smile at yourself, little by little. Those small choices become a peaceful life. And one day, without realizing exactly when it happened, you'll notice something beautiful. The things that once stole your sleep no longer visit your dreams. The words that once hurt you no longer echo inside your mind. The storms around you may still exist, but they no longer live within you. And I think that is one of the greatest forms of freedom a person can ever experience. Before we say goodnight, I just want to thank you. Thank you for sharing these quiet moments with me. The world can be noisy, fast, demanding, but for a little while, we created a small corner of peace together. If these words brought even the smallest sense of comfort to your heart, our then this evening was meaningful. I truly hope that wherever you are, you sleep with a lighter heart than you had when you pressed play. I hope tomorrow greets you with a little more calm, a little more kindness, and a quiet confidence that no matter what happens, you don't have to lose yourself to get through it. Protect your dreams, protect your time, protect your energy, but above all, sleep well, my friend. Be gentle with your heart. Be patient with your journey. And remember, the most beautiful life isn't always the loudest one. Sometimes, it's simply the one that goes to bed each night. At peace, good night, and I'll be here waiting for you in our next quiet conversation.